What's going on, everybody? I'm Awesome NES.
I'm Supreme King Zach.
And I'm Spoopy Zelda Pro 064.
Oh, then I guess I need to retake this. What's going on, everybody? I'm Darkness.
No, that's only when Logan's home.
Oh, I'm Darkness on Twitter right now.
He is.
Oh shoot.
I don't have a spooky persona.
Oh, I don't either. I just thought I would.
I mean, I guess
say
being the
Spoopy.
Supreme King is already kind of
Ooh.
good enough.
Today we're talking about some spoopy stuff because Halloween's right around the
Right
corner.
around the corner. So we're going to talk about all the hauntings that have gone at Logan's house. Because
Yes.
Logan's house is haunted.
My house is haunted as frick.
It's pretty haunted. It's crazy.
You know it's haunted whenever all of us have a story. To
Yeah,
tell about
all
it.
of us have a story to
Oh,
tell.
I've never heard Zach's story. I might have. I just don't remember.
You have.
But we won't talk about that right
Okay.
now. So we'll start with one simple one that I want to talk about, and then I'll do my long one later. So real fast. My train of thought died. Hey, Timothy, why don't you tell us? No, I'm kidding. Okay, so unless
Is that the thing making that
We're
noise?
losing our memories. That's spooky.
Spooky. Okay, so hopefully this isn't Zach's story, but one night we stand around and talk a lot. All right. After we get done with our things, we're usually dueling and playing video games, recording a video or so. We just stand around and talk for like 1, 2, 4 hours.
We will stand there and talk for a very long time.
And for some reason this time we stood at a place we don't usually stand. We were just in there's like a little segment between my hallway leading to the next hallway that goes directly into the kitchen. And we were standing by this door entryway or whatever. And
Entryway.
a little pantry is sitting next to us. I don't even know, like a display cat.
Yeah, it's a display case.
Little display cabinet case full of like plates and like collectible glasses. Some
Decorative items.
Yeah, little doughboys sitting around the bottom.
You know, stuff that you don't want broken.
Yeah. So we're sitting there, we're talking about our things. I think we were talking about like band list predictions. And we're talking, and then my cat Sparky walks up, and he starts like purring. That's just normal for him. He purrs a lot.
Yeah, he's
and
rubbing
he
up
rubs
against us.
he rubs against the case, and then all of a sudden he stops and just entirely his back arches up. And then he made like a little gurgly growl sound and then slowly just crept backwards away and then turned around and walked down the rest of the hallway and did not come back.
It was very odd because we were just standing here and all of a sudden, you know, he's doing his thing and all of a sudden we just hear, we look and he is just hunched.
Yeah.
Just staring very intensely at this item.
At the doughboy.
At the doughboys in the case. And it's very shocking whenever an animal just kind of gets tense like that.
It sure
For no
is.
reason.
For absolutely no reason. So we're just kind of staring at him. He backs away slowly and then kind of skitters off.
Yeah.
And we're just like,
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
so I guess we'll go in and around here. You can't see us, but Zach, what is a story that you got if I didn't just take yours?
No, that wasn't it.
Okay, good.
So me, Timothy, were staying at Logan's because the next day we were going to go do something. I don't know if we were going to go sushi train or what, but we stayed over at Logan's house and we were sleeping in his living room. So I was on the couch. Timothy was on one of the chairs. I think we were on that one big chair
Yeah, I think so.
over in the corner.
I hope you're not stealing my story.
I don't know, it might be. So anyway, I'm laying there.
Well, he had a particular part of his own experience.
Oh, no, this
so-
is a different story.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
So I'm laying there, and I kind of have trouble falling asleep sometimes, especially at other people's houses. I don't know why. I
That's
just
fair.
do.
I
Because you're
understand that.
scared.
No, it's
Well, it's
really
just
not.
like it's like animalistic, and like I don't like compare humans to animals, but I mean it kind of is because if you go to a new place, you get a little naturally stressed out, and when you're trying to go to sleep, you can't because like you're not used to that.
Well, I struggle sleeping in general.
Oh,
like,
you're an insomniac.
yeah, I think so. I cannot go to sleep to save my life. That it's not that bad,
Oof.
but so anyway, I was laying there. I was closing my eyes. For some reason, I opened them, and in the corner of the room, I see this light ball just dart across from one corner to the other.
Oh shoot! I don't think I've heard this one.
Really?
Really,
That's crazy.
but that's really funny you mentioned that.
Yeah,
so
so-
I could,
Yeah, hold on. So I see it dart, and at that point I am just like, what the heck was that?
yeah.
Because I know that Logan has had ghost stories happen, And I know I've had a few occurrences in his house before,
Mm-hmm.
but this one was massive. Like, it was a good sized ball, and it was fast, but not so fast that it's like.
Oh, so that's that one.
Yeah, it wasn't so fast I could mistake it for like just a light passing by or something like that. It was like it moved, And I stayed awake for a good like 2 hours just looking in that corner where it disappeared.
Okay, so I don't mean to take Timothy's spot, but real fast, that I can bounce off of that really easily because my dad doesn't believe in ghosts. Neither of my parents believe in ghosts. But after I started telling them that I swear our house is haunted, I guess either they've just been more receptive or they've started noticing some of the same things I've noticed. Because one day I had my dad shouting for me on the other end of the house, "Logan! Logan!" And I ran over to see what's going on because I thought maybe someone got hurt or what was going on. He goes, "Did you tell me that..." What are you guys doing?
It's Carl.
Did you tell me that ghosts can show up in lights or something sometimes? I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, I was just sitting here on the couch watching my TV show, and he goes, there was just a ball of light that just came out of the ceiling, kind of looped around, and then went back up into it. And I was just like, are you playing with me? And he goes, no. He's like, I don't believe in that kind of stuff. But he's like, I swear, there's just a ball of light just moving around the ceiling a minute ago. And I was like, well, that's weird, but that's one of the signs of a haunting, Dad. Our house is haunted.
Yeah. I think
Hauntings are not very scientific, son.
I think Timothy probably has the scariest.
Oh, God.
Oh. Well, first off, so as you guys have heard already, Logan's house is either haunted or he needs to fix his attic or something.
Or we have mass hallucinations.
Yeah, we're all just crazy.
Yeah. I kind of have the crazier one, I guess, but, like, here's the thing, like, what I saw wasn't entirely not normal for me because I've seen it in our dorm room as well, and then I used to have, like, night terrors when I was younger and sleep paralysis.
Timothy's kind of fricked up.
I would see some really fricked up things in my sleep when I was little, and I would wake up and see those things in my room. So it could have just been another instance like that, but since it's the spoopy...
Well, paranormal activity can increase night terrors.
Yeah, maybe... I mean, we were convinced our dorm room was
of
haunted too. So.
It's true. Do you want to add that to this? Yeah. Just because
we'll throw that at the very end.
That'll be at the end. Our dorm room hauntings. Anyway, so I don't. But here's the thing. Okay, no, I had been asleep, but it hadn't been long because I checked my clock after this had happened or my phone for the time, and I'd only been out for maybe about 5 or 10 minutes. And I wake up and I see that Logan's TV is like flashing. And I just see, like, these figures inside his TV, like these black figures, and they're staring at me and Zach in the living room. I don't know if this was the same night.
I want you to know, I have no recollection of this. I was asleep the entire time.
Didn't you just say it was in a dream?
Well, no, I woke up and saw it.
Yeah, no, he said he was awake for this. I don't know, was I on the floor? Is this the night I slept on the floor?
I don't remember. I think you were on the couch.
I was on the couch.
But, like, I remember, like, you had already gone to sleep. Because we both said goodnight, but I was having trouble sleeping. And finally, I did fall asleep, like, probably another hour later. And then I woke up about 5-10 minutes later because, like I said, I checked my clock after that. And, and I just see these figures that they look kind of humanish. But they're, like, on the screen and they just started flickering. And I was, like, made my heart jump. And I was like, huh. And then I, like... turn and look at you and you're out, and then I look back at the TV and like the TV's just black, but I'm still like seeing like some vague light kind of emanating from it, and I was just kind of like, what is that?
That's crazy.
and then like it took like the light just kind of slowly faded away, and then I was just kind of just laying there like, Logan's house is still haunted.
Yeah, it's crazy because after you see something like that, you're just. And even after it's gone...
you're unable to get out of that.
That's the only thing that's in your head.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it only happens at nighttime. Because, like, it doesn't happen to things happen in the middle of the day.
Yeah,
and then I go up and then just, like...
Yeah. But no, at night, like, after that happened, that was the only thing I was thinking about until I somehow passed out.
Yeah. Like, I'll usually turn it off and go watch something, like,
something
like SpongeBob or something. But the funny thing is like the whole time I'm watching SpongeBob, I can't stop thinking about that terrible thing that happened in Ghost Adventures. And like,
was there more to that? I thought you had more to that one, or maybe it was a separate one.
That was about it.
Okay.
For me, I don't think I've had any other scary experiences at Logan's house. I think that's really the only one. I know Logan's got several more.
Yeah, the fast white thing you were talking about. So that reminds me of one of the very first times I noticed anything weird in the house because my little brother used to have friends over a lot more than I did, so I would hang out with them. And one night, me and one of his friends were just kind of standing around eating potato chips, and we're just munching away, not paying attention to anything. All of a sudden, I noticed this white blur just like dash by that same corner that I was talking about that me and Zach had our experience with my cat in. I noticed something just dash by, but it was moving like it was moving towards the case instead of away from it.
It was going back to its home.
And I'm not like I wasn't really too sure that I saw it until I noticed that the same kid that I was standing with jerked his head over at the same time that happened. We look back at each other slowly, make eye contact, and he goes, "Logan, did you see that?" And I was just like, "No, don't tell me you saw that too. I just wanted to pretend I didn't see it." And he goes, "I saw it." And I was like, "Oh gosh." That's one of the first times I remember anything like that happening, and that freaked me out. I will never forget that one.
So yeah, Logan has a case of the white ball. Do you want to go ahead and tell the story from the dorm?
No, that's not. I was going to say that for very end because there's still more.
Yeah,
more?
Do you guys not have any more?
No,
I thought there would have been a few more circumstances.
Like I said, I've got dorm room, and I've got another ghost story from when I was a little bit littler, but we can save that for the end too.
I think the only experience was the doughboy and then the room.
Oh boy, then everybody sit back and buckle up. It's Logan's story time.
Logan's story time.
Here we go.
Yeah, so another time my parents went to Jamaica, and they were there on vacation for a little bit, and then that's right before the huge earthquake hit there. And they left I think 3 days before it happened. And when they came back, they had this little wooden cat that someone sculpted, and they wanted to give something to me, like a little decoration, or like a souvenir from their trip. And so that's what they gave me. They gave me this little wooden cat with black stripes across it, like painted black eyeballs. And I had that sitting on my cabinet for a while, and I started noticing that things on my cabinet were like moving around or like missing sometimes, and I couldn't find them. And then one day I found the cat like turned around, and I really didn't like it, so I just shoved it back behind something. And then the next day, when I went to look at it, I went to look at my cabinet again. The cat had come back facing me again, like out of the way of the picture frame that I moved in front of it. And it was, I don't know, it was so scary because the way my bed faced, I wasn't looking directly at it. I would roll over and notice it there. And I would keep hiding it or turning it around so it wasn't looking at me anymore because I hated that thing looking at me. And every single time that I would wake up, it was back around looking at me. So I had another friend that was super superstitious at the time. And he is, like I said, he was very superstitious. And apparently had holy water on hand with him. He brought holy water and sage to my house and performed a ritual in my room with the cat in order to seal it up. And then when we set it back, he just lit some sage next to it and then sprinkled some holy water on it. And he left it on a paper. He drew a ring around it too, on like this huge piece of cardboard under it. And he took some white chalk and drew a circle, threw some holy water on it, and lit some sage next to it. And we let that way for like 10 minutes. And when the smell had faded away, we picked the cat back up, put it back on the dresser, and set some crosses on both sides of it. We were not dealing with that anymore.
You guys were like, out of this house! Out of this house!
Yeah. I don't even remember it causing me that many problems, except for just, like, I hated it staring at me. And I felt like every single time I felt it staring at me. And then the next day it was missing. And that's it. Like, I put it back on the shelf, it was missing the next day, and I have never seen it again.
Yeah,
it left. It worked.
I really don't know what happened to it.
You said, be gone, demon, and it said, okay.
I asked my brother if he was messing with me. I asked my parents if they were messing with me because I told them that we were going to be doing the ritual in the house.
I'm sure they were like, okay.
Yeah, they didn't believe me. But no, I was asking, I was like, you guys didn't just take it out of there to mess with it, or you didn't sell it somewhere. I was like, you probably shouldn't. It probably should be burned. It went just missing, and I have never seen it again.
I hope it turns up one day.
I hope not. Honestly, I would rather it just stay missing forever,
That'd be so
and
funny.
I never have any. Like I said, I've felt okay ever since that thing's left. But there are still more stories, and I don't know. Like, obviously, I don't think it's coming from the cat anymore. I don't know what's going on, but there's
that cat is buried underneath your house.
Oh God, I hope It wouldn't make any sense.
That's why the ghosts are there.
So yeah, that one was messy. Like I said, rituals and everything. So the next one I've got is actually just like, I don't know how real it is. So you guys have probably heard of sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
And I don't really experience sleep paralysis.
I feel like that's what most of Timothy's nightmares were when he was a child.
But the thing is that sometimes, like, some paranormal investigators suggest that it is actually caused by something there, like something lurking. Not like of course, not all of them, but that's why you see something though, is because it is representing itself to you. Like I said, if you believe that sort of stuff, and that's what they have suggested, it doesn't. They've never confirmed. No one has confirmed.
Okay,
that,
so a little off topic, I guess, from ghost stories. Psychology kind of explains that pretty well, and I mean, I'm not gonna say no. It's not impossible for a demon or a spirit, I guess, to be like, "Hey, look at me! I'm trying to get your attention." But it's just kind of like, it's kind of been proven already by, people who've been like, hey, your brain works like this, so that's why this happens. And then it goes into panic mode. And then you just see stuff.
Yeah. So, like I said, that's probably what's happening here. But I have a sleep paralysis demon.
Yeah.
And I don't wake up, like, in actual... I can still move. But I feel like I shouldn't, because like I don't want it to notice me, although he's looking at me.
It's just staring at you and you're like, I don't move.
Yeah, so like that's kind of how it goes. So I've never actually tried to move in those circumstances. I just roll over and go back to sleep. But
that's moving.
I guess it is, but or like I more just like close my eyes and like wiggle under the blankets a little more. So you guys know how my closet doors are folding, right?
Yeah.
Have I ever told you about the balloon man?
What?
So there's like.
There's a lot of stories that you're telling that I have never.
Yeah, I've never heard this one.
So like I've only seen him like 2 or 3 times ever, maybe. And
I don't like the blue.
It was once like I was young the first time I noticed it, and I haven't seen it again until like 2 years ago, and then once the other night.
The other night.
Yeah, just pretty recently.
Oh wow.
So I thought I told you guys about it after, but I remember I was telling some coworkers about it because I had to get it off my chest. But
okay.
So I call him the Balloon Man because I don't know anything else to call him. It's just this giant trench coat, okay, and like that's basically all I see, and it's this. Like, he's got a tall, white head, like a pinball. Well, not a pinball, like a pin. Like a bowling ball pin. And he's just standing there unharmfully. Like, he doesn't look dangerous, but he just stands there with one arm tucked into his jacket and another arm holding onto a balloon with a Watchman smiley on it.
Oh, gosh.
And he just stands there and just looks at me. And I'm just like, please go away. And that's it. He's never caused any harm or never suggested any harm, but like...
How long were you staring at him?
Usually for a couple seconds.
And then you just close your eyes?
I blink and he's gone.
Oh, you just blink and he's gone? Okay.
Yeah, but usually, like... at least that's what happened the other night. I remember that like 2 years ago when I noticed it the last time, I just like... I felt like he wasn't going away, and I just closed my eyes and pulled my covers up over me just to like ignore it until it went away.
Have you ever like researched like previous owners of your house?
Funny thing is, no one has ever owned my house.
It's just on native.
It was
burial
built.
Ground.
It was built by my grandfather, and he's still alive. And all of most of like that family lineage is still very young-ish. No one is older.
What about on the land before that?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Anything on the land before?
Well,
then?
see, you guys have been to my house. It's just giant rolling fields.
Well, yeah, but like, what if there was stuff there years ago?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it could be anything like that because, like I said, it's just natural land.
Yeah.
All there.
So like, just Native Americans could have been.
We found arrowheads in our gravel, our yard.
That's right. Yeah. So it probably was just natives chilling there. Or around that area.
You wouldn't think they'd have, like, Watchman smileys and trench coats.
Yeah, no, not that.
They've evolved.
They've gotten with the times.
Yeah, that one.
But that could explain, like, the white spirit or something.
Yeah, the one that just dashes by.
Yeah.
I just call him Dasher.
Dasher.
But, so there was that one. And then there was another one.
Oh, my gosh.
Also in the big room. That's where I think most of it is centralized. Because, like I said, my dad saw something there. You freaked out there. We were standing just outside of it, and a couple of those stories, and then you even said that yours was in the bigger. You noticed the white dash,
white ball.
So this one wasn't not really like that big of a deal. I was just sitting in I was editing a video actually. I was sitting in the big room, living room, editing a video, and then like I don't even remember if I had the TV on. I was just sitting there. It was late in the night. working on something, and then all of a sudden, like, my hand was really cold. And I was like, oh, I think it's just numb from working for so long. So I put it down, let it rest. But I was like, my other hand is... I've also been sitting on the laptop. I don't know. So I left it alone for a second. And then I got ready to close my laptop hood. Top... Where was the top...
The top of the
screen?
laptop.
I got ready to close the monitor down on my laptop. And the back side of my laptop was ice cold. It was freezing. And there was, like, a particular corner. I felt my hand around on the side of it, and I was like, it was not really that... It was a little chilly, but in the room, but I felt on one side, and it just felt like room temperature, and then I moved my hand to the other side, the top corner, and it was just freezing, like just ice cold. And so I started moving my hand around to like see if I can like feel anything, like a vent or like might have been blown on it. There was only one vent in the big room, and it's right above the door when you walk in.
Which you were not probably sitting close to.
Yeah, I was not really sitting close to, and the side is like it would have hit that like the right side faster than it hit the left.
Yeah,
that's where it was. It was on the left side. There were no fans on. There's not really a draft in the big room. And it was just weird because it was so isolated. And then I kind of, like I said, I was reaching my arm around. Everything felt normal until I got to, like, right where my laptop's corner had been. And it felt like there was just, like, a sphere of just cold air. And I was just like, ugh. And I hated that a lot. So I just pushed my laptop over the side, walked away, like, kind of keeping my eyes on that space. Yeah. And then shut the door and walked away. I did not want to deal with that tonight. But
all the while, just going like, nope.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like, walking down the hallway at night away from that case makes me so upset. Like,
you just feel that menacing.
Yes, I do. Like, I feel it like it's watching me as I get away. I hate it so much. I hate walking down that hallway at nighttime. Like, I've gotten to the point where, like, I know what my hallway looks like, but a lot of the time I just turn my flashlight on anyway. Yeah. Although I've started deciding that maybe that's not a good idea. Because what if I see it?
That's a good point. What if I see it?
I don't think that I want to. So then, like, I have a debate with myself before going to bed sometimes.
You don't want to see balloons?
Do I want to walk out of here with my flashlight on, or do I want to walk out of here with everything pitch black? The thing is, though, that gets worse is, like, what if I bump into something and I can't tell what it is?
Yeah. See, that would be my only thing is, like, either one, I bump into it and I know there's something there, or two, I look at it, see it, know there's something there, and maybe be able to run away and scream like a little baby child.
Yeah.
I think the first one scares me most, honestly, because just bumping into it and being like, ah! Like, because it's not so dark that you can't see.
It gets pretty dark in there really late.
If there was something standing there,
and
though,
no lights on,
and you were that close to it, you could definitely see an outline at least.
Ass.
Yeah,
I hate that.
I'd rather see.
I'd rather see, especially because it would be from a distance, because you would probably peek out of your room.
It just said not, but it's
still going. When that happens.
It's still going.
Anyway, yeah, I probably would open your doors,
yeah,
have the light on, peek down one way, peek down the other. If everything's clear, go out. If I see something, I'm closing the doors.
Yeah.
I'm just chilling.
Gosh, it sucks.
Yeah. Are those all the scary stories?
I think that is mostly it. I'm sure
there's another one about your mom. Like,
there was one that I remember Mom talking about. I don't remember what it was.
She heard you calling.
Yes, that's right.
Oh no, that's right.
You weren't even there.
She heard. I've got another story exactly the same, like almost exactly the same as that. My little brother Tristan was there too, for this one. I don't remember Mom's, but I think you're right. No. It wasn't me calling for her. That's right. She was asleep.
No, your mom was calling for you.
She was asleep. That was for my story, but no one is her story. She was asleep, middle of the night. We have little puppies in the house. Not little puppies, but small dogs. But
small dogs.
Anyway, she's asleep, and she starts hearing them go crazy barking, and then she hears the door slide open and shut, right. And she hears some keys jingle and gets sat down. So she just thinks it's me coming home late for work, or it's my dad coming home from work or something. And it is absolutely neither, because I did not come home that night. Or no, I was home already. That's right. On that particular night, my dad was out in Missouri for work. He was not back, so I had been asleep a lot longer, and I didn't hear any of this. But she swears up and down that she heard those sounds, and she went to go check it out, and she said there was no one there. It didn't look like any keys had been moved. She said she noticed mine, so she kind of thought it was me. But when I told her in the morning that I had been home already, I was asleep. And my door was shut, so that's probably because my door stays shut whether or not I'm there. Like, when I'm not there, it's shut, and when I am there, it's shut. So she probably just didn't even pay attention to that. or think about checking in there, I guess. But she thought it was me because she noticed my keys sitting there. But I told her that I'd been home for hours by then. I was just in bed asleep because I was tired. And she was not happy with that answer. So yeah, there was that one. And then, remind me, I was going over to someone's house for, I almost said 4th of July, but it was New Year's. For New Year's, and me and my little brother were just sitting on the couch watching a show together. And I was telling him that I was going to be gone for a little while, that he could play my game consoles, that kind of stuff. And so I was getting ready to leave. I stood up, opened the door. This is in the same living room again. I get up, open the door. I take one step out, and I hear, Logan? I turn around and look at him, and like, he's looking over at me, like, with eyes wide, going, I was like, was that you? I was like, what? And he goes, I didn't say that. I was like, you didn't? He goes, didn't that sound like Mom? And I was like, Mom? No answer. I walk slightly down the hall a little bit, and I look around, like, peek my head into the kitchen, and I quickly walk back, shut the door again, and sat down. I was like, you know what, maybe I can stay a little longer. That one was not fun.
Yeah.
So it's not all visual experiences. There are also auditory experiences. So it's not like we're all completely going crazy, especially since all of us are hearing and seeing things.
We're all going crazy.
Anyway, is that everything from you?
That's everything I can remember at this point.
So Timothy, go ahead and wrap it up.
All right. So I've got 2 stories. One's about our dorm room, and one's another story.
The suck ya bed.
And it's
are we gonna talk about my bed?
Yes. Okay, you talk about your bed first, and then I'll talk about my 2 stories.
Okay.
That's how we'll end it.
So our doom room, our dorm room back in college was probably haunted. So, mayhaps haunted.
Slightly.
So my bed throughout the entire year, and it was very consistent, it doesn't matter how pumped up you were, how much energy you had, as soon as you sat down on my bed, all of that energy was just gone. It would drained out from you.
And I thought Zach was making this up all the time because he would just sit down and get super tired. And I was like, he's just lazy. And I mean, I know Zach's personality. He is kind of lazy. But the thing is, it's like every single time he never really wanted to do anything. Is like if he sat down or laid down, and he would just either lay there and watch a video, pass out, take a nap, or he would just lay down and pass out and take a nap.
Because I mean, and it's not even that my day at school was intense or anything.
Yeah. It would be like 3 in the afternoon, and you had one class for an hour and a half.
So
even.
I would get back to the dorm, and it'd be perfectly fine. But as soon as I sat down on my bed, I would just be like, "Ooh, I'm tired." And this has happened to Logan, happened to Timothy, happened to Tyler.
I fell asleep on his bed standing up.
He was standing up and he fell asleep on my bed.
He was deck editing. I remember he had his deck in his hand and he was like going through things. And he set it to the side and he just kind of laid over because he was upset about how badly it was doing. And he was just sitting there like moping, kind of like joking with us. But we stopped talking to him for a minute.
I was upset.
Yeah.
We stopped talking to him for a minute because we thought he was just messing with him. And we went back to playing our card game.
Yeah, we were sitting down playing Yu-Gi-Oh! He was elbows on my bed. Just
then he like half bent himself over.
Yeah, he was kind of bent over, just messing with his deck. All of a sudden, he just lays down, all depressed, and we just go back to our game.
And then I heard him snore.
He snores
once.
This man is asleep, standing up, just half of his body on the top half of his body, laying on my bed, and he is just passed out.
Yeah.
And then I remember you were like, Timothy, and you started poking his leg, and Timothy, it was not responsive. He was just out.
But it has been anybody who has gotten on that bed.
Yeah, like mine, where I was making a phone call. I was in the middle of the phone call, and I woke up like I don't even remember falling asleep. I just woke up like 20 minutes later with the phone still on, the same call going on, and I was just like, I don't know. I was sitting in his bed because we had things sitting on top of mine, and I didn't feel like moving them all out of the way. And I woke up and my phone was still counting up from how long I'd been on the phone, and I was like, what just happened? Zach was like, you went to sleep. You were asleep. And I was like, nuh-uh. And I checked, it was like 20 minutes, and I was like, what?
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know what. There was some demon who was just drinking our energy, but it was okay because it made me sleep good.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting.
So that segues into my dorm story, so at this point we were already kind of convinced that the dorm room was haunted, especially because of Zach's bed.
we jokingly made jokes about
Your bed being possessed.
my bed being possessed.
Yeah. And so I wake up, and again, keep in mind, like, you know, I used to have night terrors and stuff, so, like, it wasn't uncommon for me to, like, see things when I'd randomly wake up. But this happened twice when I was in the dorm, and I saw the same thing. So the first time...
But, hold on, and it's crazy, because this never happened until you were my roommate.
Yeah.
Because you stayed over whenever Logan was my roommate.
Yeah.
And this never happened.
Never happened until Logan left.
Yeah, and then you came in.
So what happened is I woke up one night and I saw like this figure, like our room door was open and it was like barely cracked and the figure was looking inside.
What?
Yeah, no, this is the first time I saw it.
What?
But then it disappeared and the door was shut and I was like, okay, maybe I'm just seeing things.
That door stayed locked. I don't know how that happened.
It looked cracked to me when I woke up,
okay.
And I could see the figure in the hallway peeking.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was like, okay, I'm just imagining this. It's not real. I told Zach, you know, I was like, I think I saw a figure in the room, but I don't know. And so like we just kind of like brushed it off. And then the second time I saw it, it was there for a long time. Because what it did, I woke up and I was like laying like on my side, facing towards Zach's bed. Zach's unconscious. I see the figure slowly just move past my bed. Like it was slow. It wasn't like it went. Like, it slowly moved past my bed. I'm sitting there, my eyes are just following it as it's, like, moving across the room.
Yeah.
And then it goes and it stands in the corner.
Timothy's
Can you describe the shape?
Hold on. Timothy's bed is right next to the door.
Mm-hmm.
And his head was, like, next to the door. Also, it was kind of... your bed was kind of low.
It was lower than yours.
Yeah.
So
well, that's the way I'd left it.
Yeah.
And I guess you just didn't bother fixing it.
Yeah, I didn't.
So he's, like, maybe at, like, waist level of this thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was waist level.
So this thing comes from the door, by the way. The
Yeah.
door does not open. It just comes from the door.
Yeah.
Goes across the room. Anyway, continue.
And so, and it just stands in the corner. So, like, the way our beds were set up, like, Zach's bed was on the left corner, my, like, in the front of the room, and then mine was on the back right corner of the room. And so there's two empty corners. There's the left backside corner. And
Which is my closet.
Yeah. And there's the right top corner.
Where the fridge was.
Yeah, where our fridge was. And that's where the figure went. It moved over there, and it just sat there and stared at me. But the thing is, it didn't have eyes or anything. It kind of looked like a robot in a way.
Yeah,
So,
go
like,
ahead and describe the way it looked.
And I drew a picture of it the next day, too, and
It's like a claw machine upside down.
something like that. It was weird. I kind of losing like what it looked like, but I just remember it had like these two like horn-like looking things that kind of looked like claws on its head.
Yeah, when you drew it before, like I remember the drawing you showed me.
It was
and I was
long.
Like, it
Mhm.
had
It
this
was really
long
long.
rod body, and I remember him drawing rings around it,
Yeah.
like a
Mhm.
bird's leg. It's like a bird's leg, just upside down bird's leg.
That's
Except that
what
the
it looked
the talons were not shaped like a bird's. It was more like in a formed circle almost, where like there's. What's the term of that shape? It's like a triangle, I guess. If you would draw a triangle and like.
I don't even know if I have that drawing anymore. I'd have to go searching if I still had it. But
Beep boop.
But yeah, it was scary. And so
I
like
need
I'm
to
sitting here
launch you.
staring at it, and I lean over and I go, Zach, do you see that? And Zach is just like completely just out. He's not paying attention. So I start speaking up. I'm like, Zach,
Yeah, so...
Zach, I see it again. It's in the corner.
Timothy is apparently yelling at
I wasn't
me.
yelling.
You get to a point where you're like, Zach.
Yeah,
But
I was just speaking normally because I was scared of speaking
But,
too loud.
I
Or
am...
RA.
Yeah.
No, because I was afraid the thing
No,
was
the thing was
going to
probably going to attack him.
I was scared of it.
Oh man.
But
It
I'm a
eventually
heavy sleeper.
disappeared because after I tried to get a hold of Zach a little bit, I looked back again and it had disappeared. But
I'm surprised after the fact you didn't get up and wake me up.
He didn't know where it went.
I was scared. I was like, if I get out of my bed, this thing's going to kill me.
Yeah.
I was like, it probably went back inside Zach's bed because like the next day I was like, I think I found the thing that's possessing your bed.
And
It
it-
came out last night.
The thing on top is the extractor, and it just reaches through the top of the bed and just pulls your energy out.
That's exactly what it is.
So yeah, those were some scary stories from Logan's house and then the dorm that we...
So now I've got one more story to tell before we wrap this
Okay.
up. And
Yeah.
this is the time that I am convinced I actually saw a full-fledged ghost clearly. Like, it wasn't... It was during the daytime.
Oh, hold on. Before you get to that,
Okay.
I guess I have one.
Okay.
It wasn't anything major, so I guess that's why I never... So when I was little, I got mad, and I said I was going to run away, as kids do. So I got things ready, I left, I walked outside, got about halfway down my driveway, and I hear someone call my name. I just hear, Zach. I turn around, nobody is there. I freak out, I run back into the house. That's it.
Wait, your mom didn't, like, call
Nope.
you or something?
Oh, no, that reminds me exactly of a story.
Yeah, no.
I feel like I have to expand on now.
Hold on. Yeah, because I ran in, and I was crying. And my mom was like, what's wrong? And I was like, did you not call for me? She was like, nope. I was just like, oh. I was freaking out.
That's funny.
Are you okay, buddy?
I don't know why that happened. That's never happened before.
Yeah, but no, for real, that reminded me of a story. Me and one of my cousins from North Carolina, we were super into. We thought ghosts were super cool, or we wanted to be rebellious and go somewhere dangerous in the middle of the night. So we snuck out of our grandparents' house really late in the middle of the night. And she was like, "I know somewhere that's haunted," and I was like, "Whatever." And she was like, "No, just follow me. It's not far from here." So we walked up the road, and it's like this long stretch of like a gravel road in the backside of some woods. There's complete coverage. You can barely see the sky by the time you get back there. So we followed the road, and she brought me to like this little animal graveyard.
Oof.
Where someone, like the neighbors who'd lived there for generations or whatever, they buried their horses, their donkeys, their cats, their dogs, just all their pets and livestock, I guess, had always been buried there. And we're walking towards it, and we start hearing galloping, and like we're looking around, we're like, whoa, it must be one of the horses they have. And we start looking around at the horse stables and stuff, and all the horses are like locked up. They're not moving. So we walk up the road a little more. We're trying to look out to see if maybe someone down because there's not a driveway, but actually road, I guess. Highway. There we go. There's a highway just down the down at the end of the. So we start looking around trying to see if there's any like Amish people running through on their horses late at night, and we were looking around. Like I said, still no horses. So we walk back. And we don't hear it anymore. And we're just like looking around at each other like, did that just happen? Did we just hear galloping? And we're like, we look, and the closest tombstone to us is from a horse. And we were just like, nope. And we walked all the way back very quickly to our grandparents' house. And we're like, this is where we're going to stay now. Yeah. We don't do this
Wait,
anymore.
The tombstone had a horse on it?
It was where they buried a horse.
It had like a horse's name. I don't remember what the name was.
But okay. Timothy, go ahead and wrap us up.
All right. So I was probably about...
young.
Probably 6, I would say. 5 or 6, something like that. I was at my Nana's house, and I was playing hide and seek with my little cousin. She was really small. She was probably, if I was 6, she would have been probably about 3 or 4. So I'm hiding in my grandparents' garage, and they've got these large garage doors, and the windows are there so I can see outside. And they've got the van parked outside the garage. And so I see my little cousin, and she's on one side of the van, and she's just kind of walking around the van. But then on the opposite side of the van, I see this girl, and she's wearing, like, this kind of, like, white, like, not a dress, but, like, a skirt, like, it's one
like
piece,
a gown?
kind of. But, like, it came up to her knees, though.
Okay. So it's a dress.
Yeah, it's a dress.
Okay. It was like, she was wearing a dress. I remember she had really long blonde hair. But I never saw her face. And
really?
So I was like, who on earth is that?
It was me, but in a dress.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. But my little cousin, like, she was too short to see on the opposite side, like, of the car. So I saw her walking around one end, and the girl that I saw was walking around the other end. So I'm like, am I seeing something? Who is that? I ran up to the garage door. My cousin had disappeared entirely. But the girl was skipping down my grandparents' driveway towards the road. And so I was like, who the heck is that? And I ran out the garage door, and the girl disappeared, and then my cousin appeared out from behind the house and was like, haha, I found you. And I was like, did you not see that girl? You were literally right beside her. And she's like, what girl? And we spent the whole next, like, probably hour looking for the person that was just never there. I asked my grandparents, and they're like, there's no kids that live around here. And then I asked my other cousin if she had been outside, and she'd been on the computer the whole time. But plus, she didn't even have like blonde hair. She has like more dark brown. And yeah, that was messed up, and I've never seen anything like that, and it was really freaking weird.
All right, well, I think that will wrap up our spooky stories. Let us know your spooky stories down in the comments below.
Yeah,
I would actually really love to hear any experiences that you guys have.
Also, we're going to be streaming Luigi's Mansion 3 this Thursday, so if you guys want to come join us for that, you should, because we're going to be in costumes, and we're having just a little Halloween party. It's going to be a good time.
Yep, and it will be all day long. So
it may not be the entire day. We may take a break and stop the stream and maybe start up again later, but
it's going to be a long stream.
It will be a long stream. We're going to try to play as much as Luigi's Mansion 3 as possible, but thank you guys for coming out to this, and for those of you who have stuck this long, and for those of you who will be at the stream.
Hold up, I gotta play some little spooky music before we.
No, you don't. Goodbye, guys.
No, keep talking.
I just wanted to say, I was going to wrap it up here by saying, you guys be safe out there trick or treating if you're going to be doing that.
Actually, yes, definitely be safe, guys. Make sure you don't get murdered. That happens.
That doesn't usually
doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen.
I'm just stalling for time.
Oh.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say.
Anyway, like I said,
hurry up.
Thank you guys so very much for coming out here. Wow, that's going to definitely cover up my voice. Thank you so much. Again, have a happy Halloween, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.